Okay, we are obviously part of the Chamber, formed 1884, as you can see there, and it's a history of working with businesses, working across Suffolk, and actually being the voice of business. And we established ourselves middle of last year with the view that we actually needed a voice for the Ipswich businesses, being distinctive. The Ipswich businesses are clearly looking at different markets and have a different focus, whilst recognising the importance of being part of a wider chamber. The actual British Chambers of Commerce network themselves offer a great deal. I mean, they are nationally connected, they have influence, which means from our point of view, both through Suffolk and locally, we have the opportunity to influence policy, to bring our information of our businesses, and to actually to bring a focus. And actually at the same time, I think, to raise not just the profile of Suffolk, but also the profile of Ipswich nationally. So what Ipswich Chamber can offer to businesses locally, being much more specific, we lobby, we represent very much Ipswich itself, we actually work through the Chamber, we lobby through the seats of decision making, that wasn't me, and we actually then also make sure that we actually are able to influence our MPs as well, and we have a regular dialogue, particularly with Ben Gummer, who's mainly the constituency MP, but other MPs, and again are able to bring real live business issues to the politicians who can influence, and be absolutely fair to Ben and his team, they do respond positively and they do take issues away. There's a wide range of opportunities: networking, grant searches, chamber healthcare, trade missions, documentation, access to markets, etc. And all those services, because in a sense, the Ipswich Chamber, by being part of the Suffolk Chamber, you automatically, by being a member of either the Suffolk or the Ipswich, get all the services which accrue. Clearly, we aim to be the ultimate business network nationally, in Suffolk and also locally. We have a number of Ipswich priorities. You'll not be surprised, I suspect, to hear them. We have a major concern and a want to work on economic growth and development. We put a lot of work in working with a very senior board to try and encourage businesses, to try and encourage economic growth, and we do everything we can to help encourage employment, which of course generates wealth. We have a major commitment, along with the Bid 2, towards joining up Ipswich into a single entity rather than the slight divide it has now to help economic development. So that links very, very much to our third priority, which is to do with the infrastructure, to do with transport, to do with actually bringing business into the town rather than taking it out somewhere else. And finally, linked to that, and it's not a surprise, there's a big skills agenda. There's a big skills agenda in Suffolk, and there's an equally bigger skills agenda in the town. So those four priorities join up to make us committed to the Ipswich Chamber.
We'll take risks every day, and we also attempt to limit the risks that we take. So, and one of those things, when you start in business, you take that big bold decision. Okay, I'm going to start doing what I'm an expert in, and what am I going to do to stop myself getting sued, getting it wrong, making mistakes? What happens if someone gets hurt? What happens if my building burns down? We buy insurance, and we all have to buy it. I'm sorry, you do, sadly. And if you're going to make that decision to buy insurance, why don't you use a professional insurance broker? And in the last 9 months, the Chartered Insurance Institute have introduced something called a chartered insurance broker. And believe it or not, there are 3,500 insurance brokers in the United Kingdom, and there are only 100 chartered insurance brokers. And so you can see the purpose of becoming chartered is to kind of get that quality badge on your chartered insurance broker. We have become one. There are only 4 in East Anglia. What does that actually mean? Well, there's 4 criteria for this. Everyone one of the firm's insurance brokers, board members, has to be a chartered insurance broker. The whole of our board holds that. 90% of your staff need to be members of the Chartered Insurance Institute. In our case, 90% of our staff actually hold an insurance qualification. So if you phone Poundgates, you will speak to someone who's qualified in insurance, which is a big difference. We're investors in people, and we have professional development programs in place for all of our staff. And we also are a firm with core values. Our focus is on the quality of the provision of service to our customers. There is a Chartered Insurance Institute Code of Ethics. We can comply and align with that. And our purpose is to deliver certainty to our customers, either through our expertise, clearly we focus on that because everyone's qualified, commitment. I think it's really important if you're going to deal with someone, if you're going to deal with a company, particularly a company like ours that has a strong personal service ethos, that you get the commitment of the people that you deal with. We deliver solutions through certainty, so they are tailored to what our customers need. We're an insurance broker, we get to know our clients, get to understand what they do, and we tailor the solution to match them. The fifth criteria is a chartered insurance broker must be available to speak to a customer. If they ask to speak to a chartered insurance broker, 15% of our team actually hold that title. I am one of them. And last but not least, we need to have a responsible member who is a chartered insurance broker on our board, which we have.
Why did we call it the Invicta Foundation to start with? The Invicta in Latin means unvanquished or unbeaten in battle, which a lot of these wounded troops are. To give you some information about what happens when somebody becomes injured, especially in a war zone like Afghanistan, within hours the injured are, or 99 Squadron from RAF Grise Norton scramble a C-17 plane, Globe Blaster, with half a tonne of medical equipment for each individual soldier. It's a £3.5 million aircraft, flies 750,000 miles just to do medical evacuations. And when they come back to Birmingham Airport, International Airport. They're then given a motorcade to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, which is a brand new hospital that was built in 2010. It holds one of the biggest critical care wards of 100 beds, and also has a military ward as well. And for a lot of families, it becomes home. Yeah. On the 9th of July 2010, we actually became one of those families. Our son, who's pictured there, Ashley, was hit by an IED. He was part of the IED task force, which means that they're actually in front of the frontline troops, as I'm sure you've seen it on TV, looking for IEDs and actually dismantling them or blowing them up. Within 30 hours, Ashley was actually brought back and occupied one of the beds in critical care. We spent 10 days, he spent in critical care in a coma, and 3.5 months we actually lived out of a hotel in Birmingham. Obviously, when they come back, or once they're medically discharged from Queen Elizabeth Hospital, when there's no other work that they can be done, they normally get to go home for 10 to 14 days before they go off to somewhere like Headley Court or one of the rehabilitation centres. Obviously, you're now bringing somebody that is disabled back to your home, to an unadapted house, and things like just trying to get through the front door. We know of service personnel that have come back, can't even get through the front door with a wheelchair, yeah? As well as having to turn your front room or dining room into a bedroom. We ended up having to, between Ashley's brothers and myself, had to piggyback him up and down the stairs so he could use the bathroom facilities, yeah, or use a shower. So, as a family, what we set up, we set the Invicta Foundation up with primarily to build a purpose-built house, our first one being in Colchester, that will be totally disabled friendly, that the whole family can go to. One of the things with the military is if you are classed as a dependent of a service personnel, then you get all the help from the military or the MOD. If you're classed as a non-dependent, which if you don't have a husband, wife or children, you have no help whatsoever. Okay? So as a non-dependent, a lot of these guys that are coming back are between 18 to 25, don't have dependents, are not married. So it falls back on the parents to actually have to care for them, bring them back to your family home. With no help, you have no support. So the Invicta Foundation was actually set up to give that support to non-dependents. And the idea of having the house is so the whole family can actually go to that house, not have to worry about everyday living things like going to the toilet, where to sleep, making a cup of tea. And that's what the Invicta Foundation's main aim is. How you can help us? Help run an event. Scrap and Blender here today. For Christmas, we actually got donated, you'll see it in our newsletters that are on the desk, donated £1,000 to us. Rather than send out Christmas cards, they put the money together and actually donated a cheque to us just before Christmas of £1,000. Little events, if your organisation wants to run an event, we're more than happy to give you any information that you need, come along to your business, actually give a presentation on what we're trying to do. We're more than happy to do that. We have a team Invicta. It's actually made up of ex-service personnel and serving personnel, and they are doing endurance challenges throughout this coming year. So we've got the Soldiers Challenge, which is around London. We're doing the Wolf Run actually this Saturday, is one of the ones we're doing, which are all endurance races. Some of them have been set up by the SAS, so they are very challenging. It's normally about 10k long, through ice pits, electric fences, and through mud. What we're looking for is some sponsorship. If your company would like to sponsor us, £500 a month, rather than just asking you for a lump sum, we'll do it on a monthly basis. And for that, you'll get mentioned in all our newsletters. At the moment, we give out 500 hard copies and email out just over 2,000, and it's growing literally week by week. Website links to our logos, we get roughly about 2,500 hits every month to our website. Branding on all our displays and banners, we've got big 3-metre square banners that we take everywhere we go. I haven't brought one this morning, it was a bit big, that we take along to all events as well. And also branding on our t-shirts and hoodies. These are one of the new hoodies that we've just got in this week. But what we're intending to do is find 3 major companies to take us on, and we will have all your branding put onto them. And not only do we wear them to all our events, but also we sell them online. So we would turn around to you and say, for a year, like we do with football shirts and rugby shirts, yeah, we'll put your branding on it and we'll sell it through our website. Okay? And also, we hold a voting ball each year, of which you would get a free table of 10 to actually come along. Last year we held it at the toll booth, and it was a very good success. The cost, £500 a month, which I must say is tax deductible as well, for your benefit. Okay? And our tagline is supporting wounded troops because freedom is never free. One thing I forgot to mention is it's not only those that are physically wounded that we help, yeah? It's also those that have psychological problems as well. And it's, the statistics again, is 1 in 4 that those that come back from Afghanistan end up suffering from PTSD. And that is one of the biggest things. What is not reported is those soldiers that come back that commit suicide. We actually lost 3 soldiers over Christmas who hung themselves, yeah, through PTSD. So with your support, hopefully we can help them.
Most of you will know that we were, before Suffolk New College, we were Suffolk College, and before that, some of you remember, we were Civic College, so we have a long history. We currently have 3.5 full-time students and over 2,000 part-time. We have a growing number of staff, 600 currently, numbers of staff who work for us, and our turnover, as you can see, is £20 million. We moved into our new building coming up for 3 years ago. We are based in Rope Walk, which you can access sort of through Grimwade Street as part of the education quarter, so you can move straight from the college right through to the university campus down on the waterfront. Shelley's is our restaurant, training restaurant, and if you haven't been yet, I do really recommend that you come along. We do functions as well as lunches and dinners in the evening, and the zone's our beauty salon. So how do we earn our money as a business? So we gain most of our money through funded work, through the number of students that we recruit. We get funding in stages, so not only on recruitment, but how long they stay with us and on their achievement as well. And clearly our quality of work is inspected by Ofsted, and on our last inspection we were graded as a grade 2, the only college in South Suffolk to get a grade 2. From September you may be interested to know that we're introducing urban horticulture to the curriculum for the first time, which is really exciting for us. So we do have a wide subject area that we cover full-time to our students. As well as full-time, we do a significant amount of apprenticeship work, and that's one of the things I want to talk to you this morning about, how you can get involved in that. We also have part-time adult learning, leisure learning, and a small provision in higher education, both through teacher training and through degrees in civil engineering, construction management and architectural technology. We do an increasingly wide-ranging area in apprenticeships, and we're very keen to work with employers to develop new partnerships and to develop apprenticeships that meet your needs. We're very mindful that the sorts of apprenticeships that employers are looking for are changing. An example of that is, in my area, we had carpentry and joinery, painting and decorating and bricklaying. Employers are saying to us, we want something that's more generic, more multi-skilled, and we now have 2 new apprenticeship frameworks which cover that. So we are very much responding to what employers are looking for. As well as wanting to work with employers through apprenticeships, we encourage our students to get out there and do things to develop employment skills to make them fit for employment when they start with you. If you don't already know, we are part of a skills stand at the Suffolk Show, where we work with a number of colleges locally to showcase the skills of young people. And if you haven't been, please come down and see the work of the young people. Most of the events on the Suffolk Skills Stand are competition based, where students are set a task to work on 3 days, but on the catering, hairdressing and beauty stands you can make biscuits, get your nails done and have a go at things, which lots of people like to do. Other things we've done recently, we've had an Employability and Entrepreneurship Day in March of this year, and we were grateful and thankful for a number of organisations who came and supported the event, which helped young people think about the skills that are needed for work. Some employers came in and did CV writing, some people did interview skills, some people came out and talked about diverse careers within an industry. We had a representative from the Army and the Navy come down to team building, think about those sort of relationships. We also have a commitment to our young people to think more than just the curriculum they're studying, but to help them develop as whole people, rounded people. So we have a commitment to things such as health, emotional well-being. You know, we are very committed as an organisation in training young people so that they are fit to enter in employment, and we also work with businesses too to meet their training needs too. So we can put on bespoke courses, professional events, as well as hosting events for you if you wanted to use our facilities as well. We also have a Centre for Diversity, and we go out and we do training with organisations on improving their commitment to diversity and training within organisations. And finally, and just how can you get involved? And I suppose the question is, how can we get involved with you? It's a two-way question here. So you could take on an apprenticeship. You may also have read in the paper earlier in this week the government's commitment to supporting employers taking on an apprenticeship with a £1,500 financial support there. You could come into college and be a guest speaker. Some young people really don't understand about the breadth of employment that's out there and the world of work, so coming to talk to young people will help them to understand about the work that you do, may drive them towards your sector more than perhaps they'd thought about before. You could offer a work placement. Most people think about work placements for young people in schools in year 10 and 11, but full-time students on a course at college also need to gain work experience if they're going to have the edge in employing for a job. You could support a visit to your organisation. Our teachers are very keen to bring young people out to places of employment so they get a feel for what it's like to work in an organisation. And finally, you could offer to mentor a young person.
Every month going forward until October, I will bring forward more information about the event I'm running on the 24th and 25th of October called Business Suffolk Showcase. What is Business Suffolk Showcase? Well, it's a 2-day business event. It's not just an exhibition. It will be a multifaceted business event, including a 2-day exhibition, 10 o'clock in the morning till 6 at night each day. I'm looking for approximately 100 exhibiting companies, maybe a few more. Inside the magazine you'll see the floor plans are all designed. There's going to be 3 specific areas. For those that know the venue, which is Worsted Park, it's a fantastic venue. It hasn't actually had an event of this size before, although it does run exhibitions, and of course it runs conferences and seminars because I've organised 4 there myself. Alongside the atrium there will be stands in what's known as the mansion, which is a 300-year-old building. So the atrium, the mansion, will be used for the exhibition. That's all ground floor level obviously, and behind the mansion I'm actually erecting a 100-foot long marquee, which in turn, if you look at the floor plans, will actually house about 50 stands as well. There are different prices for each of these areas for people to be involved in the exhibition. And in the mansion there's another 2 floors, middle floor being the mezzanine level, and then the upper floor, those rooms will actually house seminars, and also for the smaller rooms where you wouldn't have numbers of people in them, we're going to have one-to-one consultations available for those business people that are seeking professional advice that they may not be able to achieve elsewhere. So that's really the multifaceted event, Business Suffolk Showcase. As I say, month by month things are developing. Since last month's first brief that I gave and the 4-page involvement here, you'll see inside that media partner is the magazine. Event supporters last month were the East of England Cooperative Society. They obviously would like to attract a big audience to their venue, and they're going to give it as much support as they possibly can. Developments since last month. Well, I'm pleased to say that now it's been officially confirmed that Suffolk New College have also taken my offer and gladly agreed to be what's known as an event supporter. And in the last few days, UCS, University Campus Suffolk, have also agreed to accept my offer to be involved with the event. A number of their students, it's not been finalised yet, but won't be quite as many as 7, but some of their students will be with me during the summer months, internships, working with me at my offices at Worsted Park, 1, maybe 2, and then other students will come on board closer to the event, and they'll work with me in helping the final stages of the planning and the management required to put this event on the floor.